just for one day. We can be the heroes just for one day.
Hey folks, welcome back to Star Wars Delusions of Granular. If you've been listening to the show for any amount of time, you know that, well, maybe you figured out that we like to pick a song at the beginning and the end of the show that kind of sums up what our thoughts are about what we're talking about, and, you know, try to make it Star Wars related. But this week, just wanted to touch on the fact that David Bowie passed away, and it's affected me. David Bowie's been an artist that's been around for me in my life probably almost as long as Star Wars has, and the news of his passing last week has been pretty sad for me, so I just wanted to honor him and his contributions to the world. He's truly an artist in every sense of the word. He's a recording artist. He's put out 26 studio albums, either under his own David Bowie name or as Tin Machine. And then he's been in countless films, contributed to the art world, to fashion, just all around great guy. And I think the world's going to be a little bit sadder without him in it. I know that he's had an influence on my life, and I'm glad that he's able to touch my life. Folks, if you're if you're just getting into David Bowie because of his passing, please go through his entire work, because I think you'll find that it's moving, it's entertaining, it's challenging, and it's a great work of art by a great man, and he will truly be missed. So, Mr. Bowie, thank you very much. You were truly a space oddity, Ziggy Stardust, and countless others, and you will be missed. Alright, folks, well, as you can tell, it's just me this week. JP is out on vacation, I believe, somewhere in the West, getting lost out there. But, wanted to take the reins of the show and keep giving you content. So welcome to Delusions of Granular. This is a Star Wars podcast, and we talk about Star Wars every week. We get granular with it. If you've been tuning in to the show as of the new year, you'll probably be hearing different voices. Steve Sheev Shinder has been taking over the show once a week with his reviews of new Star Wars media that's out there, and I hope you're enjoying those. Hope the diversification of the content isn't too jarring for you, but keep up the good work, Steve, and thanks for helping out with the cast. All right, so as I said, Delusions of Granular. You can find all of our episodes at delusionsofgranular.com, as well as you can find information about the show on facebook.com/swdog, or you can follow us on Twitter at swdog77. And if you'd like to contribute to the show, you can always call our hotline. That's 651-33 SWDOG. That's 651-337-9364. Give us a call, leave us a message, and talk to us. Or if talking is not your thing, and you still want to, connect with us on the show, you can always email us at swdog77@gmail.com. And if you haven't figured out how to listen to the show, maybe this is your first time and you stumbled upon our website, which has all of our shows, you can also subscribe to us on iTunes and Stitcher. So there we go. So trying to figure out how to deal with the show in the post Force Awakens world that we live in, and I know that we've been giving you with the ramp up to The Force Awakens, we've had a lot of Force Awakens like content on the show, as well as our thoughts on the movie itself, and I'm sure we're going to have more and more as we go on with that. But there's other things out there, folks. That's right. As you know, JP and I had been following the Star Wars Rebels TV show since it first aired. With I think JP and I our thoughts on that show can kind of teeter back and forth. Seems like neither one of us can ever get on the same page with that show. Either JP's loving it and I'm hating it, or I'm loving it and JP's hating it. So take that for what it is. But so I know that leading up to The Force Awakens, the show kept putting out more and more episodes. It didn't really go on hiatus until right before the movie came out. And I'll tell you honestly, my interest in the show prior to the movie coming out in that month of December, it was pretty much no interest at all. I was so hyped about the movie that I couldn't get into the cartoon. I couldn't get into these characters. I couldn't deal with it. I just had too much on my mind as far as what the movie was going to be and how it was all going to tell us about our beloved characters and how they've managed to make it into the future. But now that the movie's out, JP and I both took it upon ourselves to kind of catch up with the show, and as it turns out, again with mixed results. JP's still loving it for everything that it has to offer, which is, if you've kept up on the history of the show, JP was kind of down in the dumps with this show towards the end of the first season, and didn't really get back in the swing of things with it until, I think it was during that time when he took a hiatus from the show, and he got back into it and decided he was being too harsh with the show, and he started to love it for everything it had. Me, on the other hand, I don't know. I've taken a dive with it. I was very amped up with it towards the end of season 1. Spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen season 1, but it ended with the big reveals of, of course, Darth Vader appearing, as we knew he probably would in this time frame, but as well as Clone Wars favorites, Rex and Ahsoka Tano. That's right. That was a big thing for me. Ahsoka Tano, as I've mentioned before, many times on the show, became a very, very much a favorite character of mine. And, I had high hopes for her kind of in season 2. And, the first half of season 2, she's pretty much was sidelined during those first few episodes. We got a lot of Rex in there, which was great, but we didn't get much more with Ahsoka until the episodes that I was catching up on, and those episodes in particular are episodes 9, 10, and 11 of the show. That's Stealth Strike, The Future of the Force, and Legacy, respectively. And these episodes, felt like they were building up to something. When JP and I left off with the show, we had a very Sabine-focused episode where she's kind of reveals some of her past as a bounty hunter, and let's just pick it up from there. Stealth Strike. So Stealth Strike, I very much enjoyed this episode. I thought it was a neat little episode. Basically, for a 23-minute episode, it pretty much retells A New Hope. In 23 minutes, we basically get Commander Sato kind of captured by the Imperials, and Hera, Kanan, Rex, and Chopper have to go and rescue him. Rex and Kanan end up dressing like stormtroopers. Ezra Ezra's bouncing around in there. I think he's captured too, isn't he? I'm getting a little bit confused, but yeah. So we have stormtroopers running around a base. We have a lot of beats from the movie, from the original movie in this episode. But I think all in all, I think it was just kind of a fun episode, and it built to something, right? It built to Kanan and Rex actually becoming friends, and this was a big thing for the show, right? Because Rex was a clone, and he his kind killed the Jedi off, and Kanan wasn't too happy with that. But towards the end, they became friends, and they ended up respecting each other, which I thought was great. Great little emotional beat for the show. I think that was something that the show desperately needed. To me, it was missing that emotional beat, the emotional ties of these characters to one another in the first half of the show, or first half of season 2. And then we get to episode 10. In episode 10, we get the Inquisitors back, and I think this episode, the highlight of this episode for me is the fact that we get Ahsoka actually fighting the Inquisitors, which was great. It was a great little battle, something that we have been wanting to see, a real showdown between Ahsoka and these Inquisitors, right? And we're also finding out that Ahsoka has been kind of trying to find out more and more about who this Sith Lord Vader is. But not giving us quite the information that we're looking for quite yet with this episode, right? We're still being teased. We're still being kind of like she hasn't quite figured out that Vader is Anakin, right? So from there we get Legacy, and Legacy is to me, well, it's an Ezra heavy episode. Ezra's having visions of his parents, and he kind of goes on a mission back to Lothal to find out what's going on. Ezra does run into a new character, Ryder Azadi, and he informs Ezra that his parents definitely did die. And, unfortunately that's all we really get from his parents. There weren't really anybody we knew. They weren't all that important to the rebellion. I guess we get a little bit of a wrap-up on Ezra's story that started way back in season 1. And that's going to move us on to the upcoming episodes, right? Well, before I get to that, let me just kind of give you a rundown on this. I was still kind of feeling a little bit down and out about this show. I think just kind of the lack of how this show is connecting to the movies is just kind of bothersome for me. I know these are new characters. I know that there's a lot of criticism out there of the show being very much a kiddie show. That never really bothered me. I enjoyed the Clone Wars, and I never really. It doesn't bother me that it's animated and it's got goofy characters in it. What bothers me is it just seems to lack the depth and the connection to the movies that I was hoping for. We're really only seeing Lothal. We haven't gotten too many more planets. I don't know. There's something quite not there with this show yet, and I think the creators of the show are starting to realize that as well, because just a couple days ago they dropped the bomb on us. They dropped the trailer for the second half of season 2, and oh my, is it wow. There's a lot going on here, folks. Let's just start from the beginning here. Looks like the next episode we're going to get, which is, I believe, coming out this week. Princess Leia is going to be in it. And let me just say this, folks. As I was watching this trailer for the very first time, I was skeptical. The character model, the way that Princess Leia is portrayed in this, I was just like, oh man, this doesn't feel like the sassy Princess Leia that Carrie Fisher portrayed in A New Hope. I was like, I don't know about this. Do we want such a big character in Rebels? But kept going, and first of all, I need to say, like, the action in this looks like it's ramped up from way more than what we got in the first half. It looks like things are going to have consequences. Looks like our rebels are in trouble. Also, kind of pointing out the fact that they have not been able to establish a base for the actual rebels. A problem that I probably have unconsciously had a problem with. The fact that Lothal's kind of been the big planet, and nowhere else. It's kind of been a traveling fleet of ships, but there's a reason for that, and it's just they're having a hard time actually trying to establish a base. So good on them for that. Yoda. Now again, as I'm watching this trailer, I was just like, Yoda. Do we need more Yoda in Rebels? We've gotten him before, at least his voice, as Ezra is getting his Kyber crystal in the Jedi Temple that they find on Lothal. But no, now we're getting actual visuals of Yoda, and still kind of not feeling it with this trailer, right? The Yoda model is way different from what we had in the Clone Wars. This is completely different style, and I don't know. It just looks a little goofy to me. Doesn't look like the Yoda we know at all. Doesn't look. I don't know. Maybe it's just not a final rendering, but it looked. I don't know. Just it didn't look right to me, and I was just really starting to not feel the excitement for the rest of the show. And then all of a sudden it started to get a little bit better. First of all, there's 3 red blade lightsaber wielders, not including Darth Vader. Yeah, there's the 2 Inquisitors, that we've gotten earlier this season. But there's another one. If you pay close attention, there's another one. Might even be a dual-bladed red lightsaber wielder. We also got some, looks like yellowish, lighter. Maybe they're the green, yellow, bluish lightsabers, but we got a bunch of them, folks. We got more lightsabers in this than we've gotten since the Clone Wars. So that's interesting. But what's even more interesting is that they're teasing that Ezra is being tempted by the dark side, which I think that's something we've all been kind of hoping for. A little drama here, a little bit of tension. Now that Ezra's found out the fate of his parents, what's next for him? Maybe there's anger in him. Maybe there's some darkness in him. Maybe he's going to be led astray. We do see that Anakin is going to be in this, at least in a holocron, or a hologram, I should say. We also get some very interesting voiceover, not only from Ahsoka, who's her dialogue in this in voiceover form is pretty. I would say it's pretty good. I feel like it's worthy of Star Wars Legends. I don't mean the EU. I just mean in general. It's good canon dialogue. But we also get Anakin talking to Ezra. Or I'm sorry, talking to Ahsoka, and asking her if she knows what he's become, and I would say this, folks. I'm amped up. I'm totally amped up for this. This is. I feel like season 2 is off to a bumpy start, at least for me. But this feels like it's going back to where we were with season 1, towards the end there. We're getting a lot of connections going on. We get Cham, who was in. He's the Twi'lek that was in Clone Wars that we've later found out through the books that is actually Hera's father. So he's back. So there's some legacy there for Hera. We're getting Darth Vader in this more and more. Looks like he will be fighting possibly Ezra. We're getting Ezra being tempted by dark side. Yoda telling him that he may be tempted. We're getting, looks like, maybe a Sith temple in this. And, well, leaving the best for last here, folks. We're getting a new master. Looks like a dark master. Looks like he's not new either. Folks, I know people have been analyzing this, kind of putting this frame of this trailer into Photoshop, brightening it. I will tell you this, I am pretty definite it is. I think Darth Maul's back, folks. I think Darth Maul is back. And not only is he back, he may be training Ezra. Now there's the drama I'm looking for with this show. This is big. This is bigger than Vader. Well, wait a minute. What if we have Vader and Darth Maul fighting? What if we have Vader, Darth Maul, Ahsoka, Ezra, and Kanan fighting? Even better, what if Kanan dies? What if someone dies? This trailer, if anyone dies in this season 2, I don't know. It looks like maybe Zeb might be in trouble. Definitely kind of plays out that way that Zeb is kind of in trouble in this. Rex may be in trouble. I don't know. Season 2, the rest of it is going to be very exciting. Let's go back to where we were at the beginning of this trailer, though. Princess Leia's in this. Princess Leia, we all know from A New Hope, leaves the message in R2-D2 for Obi-Wan Kenobi that, well, do I have to say the line, folks? Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're our only hope. Princess Leia in this, she meets Ezra. She meets Kanan. She meets Ahsoka. I think her being in this and knowing these people, I think that just sealed their fate, folks. I think, well, I mean, it's kind of a foregone conclusion that Kanan, Ezra, Ahsoka, they're not going to make it out of this series alive. They can't. How can they? Obi-Wan's our only hope. But, bringing Princess Leia into this definitely makes it feel a little bit more concrete. Maybe we're going to lose our main characters sooner than we think. I don't know. Maybe one of them or more is going to turn to the dark side. I don't know. Lots of little things to watch in this trailer. Freeze frame. Try to analyze. I think I saw more Mandalore armor in there. Maybe actual Boba Fett's. I don't know. But yeah. I'm back in, folks. I definitely will be watching this now that I've got the Force Awakens out of my system, or at least I've seen it enough now that I can kind of calm down there. I'm excited for this, folks. I'm excited for the rest of season 2 of Rebels. So bring it on, Filoni. I've been skeptical in the past, and you've proven yourself worthy. Unfortunately, you're not a part of the movies, but so you're gonna have to kind of keep proving it to at least me, to maybe more of the fan base. But yeah, this is exciting. I'm hoping that we get not only an exciting, meaningful end of season 2, but maybe even a season 2 that's like the movies, where it leaves us with questions. Wouldn't that be exciting? Wouldn't that be a way to fill in the gap between season 2 and season 3, of just kind of leaving us with questions? If that's how you want to, keep the show alive, keep us excited about it, let's do as the movies are doing and kind of leave us with things to contemplate between the gaps. So there you have it, folks. Was not really high for this show after The Force Awakens, but they're bringing it. I didn't even bring up the most important thing. Darth Maul might actually be the most important thing in this trailer, but Ezra picks up a lightsaber, and it's a 3-bladed lightsaber, very much like the one that Kylo Ren wields in The Force Awakens. So there they go, folks. They're tying things together in meaningful ways, possibly. This is exciting news, folks. So I believe January 20th is the when the show starts up again. So stay tuned, folks. JP and I will be watching the show and probably talking about it quite a bit in the next few weeks. So there you have it, folks. There's our take on where Rebels stands in the post-Force Awakens world. Maybe proving that they're still worthy. All right, folks. Well, this is Ron, and stay tuned for another episode later this week from Steve, and more coming soon with JP and myself, or at least myself when JP can't make it. But we'll be talking Star Wars and not hating Star Wars and getting granular with Star Wars in the weeks to come. So thanks for joining us, and as always, folks, stay granular.
But the film is a sad thing but she's lived it 10 times or more. She could spit in the eyes of fools if they ask her to focus on sailors fighting in the dance hall. Oh man, look at those gay men go. It's the freakiest show. Take a look at the low man beating up the wrong guy. Oh man, wonder if you'll ever know who's in the best-selling show. Is there life on Mars? It's on America's tortured brow that Mickey Mouse has grown up a cow. And now the workers have struck for fame, 'cause Lennon's on sale again. See the mice in their million hordes, from Ibiza to the Norfolk Broads. Rule Britannia is out of bounds, to my mother, my dog and clowns. But the film is a sad thing more, 'cause I wrote it 10 times or more. It's about to be writ again.